What are we? Some kind of better Suicide Squad? That's exactly what this movie is. The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad from 2016. The Suicide Squad is not directed by David Ayer. It is instead now being directed by James Gunn, who is popular for Guardians of the Galaxy, both 1 and 2, Slither, Super, Brightburn. He's done a lot of quirky movies, and he definitely has his own style. He can be super gory and ultra violent, like in this movie. But the nice thing about James Gunn is that he also tends to really have a knack for balancing a large ensemble cast of characters and give everyone time to shine. It's not just one character's movie and the rest are just background. You really get to feel for everybody, and just like in the Guardians movies, there's a lot of heart there that I wasn't expecting. Speaking of the cast, it's fantastic. Idris Elba, Margot Robbie, the whole cast. Michael Rooker, he carried over from Guardians. Nathan Fillion has a role. Pete Davidson. A lot of great returning characters. Well, I guess I shouldn't say a lot of great returning characters. They only carry over Captain Boomerang and Harley Quinn and Rick Flag. And Amanda Waller from the previous Suicide Squad. Viola Davis, again, as great as that character. But here you have a huge cast, and everyone really does get some time to shine, or at least get a highlight really cool move. Specifically, I want to say for the cast, my standouts were Ratcatcher 2's Daniela Melchior and King Shark Sylvester Stallone. Similar to Groot, King Shark is an entirely CGI character, but he actually has a lot of heart to him, and you really get to care and feel for this character. There is one scene specifically when they're on a bus. King Shark is looking out the window of the bus. He sees a couple kissing, and he looks incredibly sad and just wanting. And you get so much background on his character in just that one nonverbal, there's no dialogue, just that one shot of him. And you get so much history to King Shark that you can just fill in your head. And I think that's what makes James Gunn really a master at these types of movies and these types of characters, is that with no dialogue, he wastes, no pages on the script or anything like that to try and give King Shark a lot of exposition. But just the visual, show, don't tell, just that visual, you get a lot of history there. I also was not expecting Ratcatcher 2 to be my personal favorite of the bunch in this movie. Just the fact that it's Ratcatcher 2 and not Ratcatcher 1, that's such a comic book thing, but it's awesome. I love that we're at that point where we can understand that, there are 2 Ant-Men and there's 2 Ratcatchers and 2 Captain Americas, stuff like that. But Danielle Melchior really gives a great performance. She and Idris Elba's character, Bloodsport, they have a great relationship in this movie. Margot Robbie continues to kill it as Harley Quinn. She's fantastic. And a lot of the choreography in this is really awesome and really well done. When Harley Quinn is going on a rampage, just killing people, you see the camera work and the blood spurts start to become flowers, and you get to kind of see things the way she sees them. And it's really cool visual storytelling. I love stuff like that. There's another great shot in the movie where 2 characters are fighting, and it's Peacemaker's helmet, and it's the reflection of Peacemaker's helmet that you're really watching. So the camera's focused on the helmet, and it's just really cool. Creative stuff like that really makes comic book movies like this stand out above the rest. So the R rating, they definitely use to full effect here. This is a hard R, and it's great for it. The R rating does not make the movie better. It's just that the material that they're able to do with the R rating elevates the movie and really fleshes out everything you can get out of these characters. A comic book like The Suicide Squad does benefit from this type of free reign to do whatever James Gunn wanted to do. And I have to give Warner Brothers credit, because David Ayer and Zack Snyder, early on in this DC extended universe that they were doing, a lot of the time they would hire these great directors, talented directors, but give them no freedom to do what they wanted. So it's like, why hire these people if you're not going to trust the job they're going to do? So James Gunn, he has been on record as saying he pretty much had free reign, and he has a blast with it. I never thought that we would be seeing Starro the Conqueror in a movie, and he's great. I mean, even the villain, Starro, gets some background, and you kind of care for him by the end of it. So it's fantastic. So I love that we're really embracing the full fantasy of a comic book, the zaniness of it, but not at the sacrifice of heart and good storytelling. Some of my negatives are the second act can be a little bit disjointed, and the pacing can be a little bit jarring. I found myself specifically with Harley Quinn. She has a side story for a large amount of the movie that can kind of take you out of the action because you'll be following the main group and then it'll be, meanwhile, Harley. And it's like a comic book, which is cool. It felt like I was reading a miniseries, but it can kind of mess with the pacing a little bit. There's another scene where this action is ramping up and then it quickly cuts to 8 minutes earlier and then it's slow pacing, but you want to see what was going on earlier. So it can be a little bit disjointed there. My only other negative is John Cena was supposed to be in this movie, but I couldn't find him for the life of me. I don't know what happened, if that was a fall through on his contract, but I heard he was great. I heard he was really funny and did a great job as Peacemaker, and he's got good comedic chops, but I just wish I could have seen him. I don't know if it was something wrong with the projector or something wrong on the camera work, but I could not see him for the life of me. The Suicide Squad, I definitely recommend. Go check it out. If you are hesitant about it because of how bad that first movie was, Suicide Squad, please get that out of your head. This is a completely different direction, completely different director, and completely different cast. And it's awesome. It's by far, I would say, arguably the best DC movie in a very long time. And it's a lot better than, honestly, a lot of Marvel movies. Go check this one out. It's a fun time. Even if you're not into comic book movies so much, but you like James Gunn's other stuff like Slither or Super, it's worth checking out. So it's a fun time at the movies. Go check it out. I will give this score a 4 polka dots out of 5. I'm Brandon K, making your day. Make sure you check out my other reviews. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Take care.